I wholeheartedly recognize that the message, you can manifest any specific person you want to, and unrequited love will end in happy, loving togetherness. And every rock song, love song, R&B song, every movie, they all play on this idea of making someone fall in love with you, or, you know, two people who somehow, against all odds, they make it work. And that's the popular message. Those are the YouTube channels that have, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and I get it. My message is not popular, but hopefully the people who are here are actually here to heal. That's what this is all about. This is about doing the work. This is not the candy-coated fantasy message. This is the raw, real healing. This is the raw deal, the real healing. This is the unpopular message. This is the unpopular message that says, nope, that motherfucker ain't coming back.
That motherfucker ain't coming back.
You're gonna have to heal and move on. Good morning, my lovely peaches, and welcome to my video therapy session, my love coaching session. This is going to be a long session. This video is intended to be a love coaching therapy session specifically geared toward people who desperately want to manifest a specific person. It's possible you've fallen down the wormhole of listening to a lot of YouTubers who say you can manifest any specific person no matter what, regardless of circumstances. Maybe you've gotten to this video at the point where you are basically, you're fed up and you're at the end of your line. You are at the point where you're just ready to heal. You're just ready to heal and move on. And you're tired of playing these mental games. You're tired of the bullshit, the gymnastics in your mind and your heart. You're tired of continuously getting your own hopes up for a situation with someone who has literally told you no. And you're ready. You're ready to heal and move on. You're ready to do whatever it takes to be emotionally healthy. And that's what this video is aiming for. There's a lot of repetitious messages in the video because honestly, that's how we learn, by repeating the same message in many different ways again and again. So if you're here to heal, welcome. If you're here to heal, welcome. And normally I would post such a super long video like this for patrons only. I am considering posting this on my public page. Maybe this will be something I leave up publicly because I really do want to help people heal. And if you're interested in my love coaching on a deeper level where you want to be a patron, these videos will give you this one and that other 46-minute video about yes, forget them. These videos are a really good basis for what my particular style is and my message. Yes, forget them. And yes, you absolutely, without any doubts in my mind, can manifest the right specific person for you. Maybe not the one you hoped, but the one you need. One of the most important things that I could possibly say, I feel, in this video, is that this video is for me. I'm going through needing this healing. I have gone through this process. I have taken many years doing a thought experiment, trying to manifest a person, and put myself through the emotional ringer. I'm the one who came to these universal truths through my own painful experiences, and I am creating this video and these videos as a healing guide, as a loving guide, as an encouragement to all of us who have been hung up on someone who didn't want us and didn't come through, and we've got to heal. We've got to heal from the inside. And this is my healing. This is my experience. This is my perspective. This is me healing myself. And if this helps you to heal, then that's really a bonus. We get so fixated and so obsessed on a specific person, and there are a lot of people out there who will encourage you to continue your pursuit no matter how they word it. And this is my drop into the love coaching universe to say, please heal. You can heal. I'll hold your hand. Come along this journey with me. We're going to walk together towards healing. We are going to walk away from that very painful past of being obsessed with a specific person who's not loving us back, and how you can heal from it and move on into the arms of your true love. Join me on this journey. Compatibility is everything. It's absolutely everything. You can't make a happy, loving relationship without compatibility. You can't stay together and be happy without compatibility. You can't be compatible without compatibility. You can't make it work without compatibility. Compatibility is everything. Absolutely everything. You need two willing, investing partners who are wholeheartedly all in and compatible to make a relationship work. Period. Sure, you might manifest a relationship with someone you're not compatible with. You might be with someone you're not compatible with. You might know people that are not compatible who've been together forever. You can't truly be happy if you're not compatible. Maybe you can stay together, but lots of people are together, but they're not happy. And if you're together and you're happy, that means you're compatible. You can manifest somebody who's not compatible with you. You can get somebody to like you. You can hook up. You can get with somebody. But once they start to get to know you and realize that they're not compatible, it's not going to last. It's not going to work. You can be with somebody that you're not compatible with, but you're not going to be able to build a healthy, happy relationship. A happy, prosperous, mutually desired, mutually beneficial relationship, unless there's mutual compatibility, and compatibility is always mutual. Compatibility is inherently mutual. That is the definition of compatibility. Mutually being well matched. I would like to begin this session by making it clear that I believe that being fixated on a specific person who is not all in and investing back into you is lack of self-love. It is inherently lacking self-love, and it is inherently lacking love for that other person. You cannot truly love another person and at the same time ignore what that other person feels, needs, and wants. So if that person says, you're not right for me, or you're perfect for me, but I can't do this, or whatever variation of them not being there and investing in you, then any continued wanting them, obsessing over them, fixation on them, trying to manifest them, or any type of focus on them is inherently, fundamentally a junky belief system that is rooted in not loving yourself, not having value in yourself, not believing in your self-worth, not even loving that person, and not believing in that person's inherent free will. I think that any person that we fall in love with believe we're in love with, think is right for us, think is our perfect match, or any variation of that theme, when we are coming from a place of actually being emotionally unavailable and not believing in our own self-worth and thinking it's possible to create a loving relationship with a non-involved partner or a non-partner or with someone who doesn't choose us, I feel that that love is questionable. It's very highly questionable and suspect, because how well matched can someone be for us, and how much can we actually truly love them in a compatible, loving, building a lifetime partnership, romantic relationship kind of way? Can we love someone when it's based on this imbalanced incompatibility, which is them not wanting you and you wanting them, or them not being able to follow through and you wanting them, or any kind of they are not investing, they are not all in, they're not showing up, they're not being consistent, they're not choosing you, they're not committing to you, they're not giving you what you're giving them or what you think you're giving them or what you want to give them. How can you genuinely, truly even know that you really love that person when it's all rooted in this belief system that someone who's not showing up and investing and consistent with you is someone that you should continue to invest in and continue to obsess about and continue to think about and continue to crave and desire and long for and wish for and try to manifest? And I think that we really need to start questioning, what is that? Is that even love? Let's redefine what in love, romantic love is, and let's make the definition based on the belief structure that says it's two mutual people investing. It's two people mutually investing wholeheartedly in each other, and after some time of that investment, then you can determine, are we compatible? Is this really love? Yes, I have all these lusty feelings and I have all this attraction and desire and magnetism towards you and certain types of compatibility, but is it actual, long-lasting? That's what we should be basing our idea of being in love on, not just I want you so bad, and when I want you so bad is met with but I don't want you. That cannot be love. Let's question, how much are we actually in love with a person when it's not mutual and they are rejecting us? That is based in lacking love. Lacking love for yourself and lacking love for the other, and lacking love for what real love even is. That's what I want to talk about. I always feel like a wet cat right out of the shower. And I'm looking for my phone tripod holder. Just got out of the shower, and you know how in the shower you always get those amazing thoughts, right? So I just got home from work. It's 4:39, Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021. I just got home from work about 35 minutes ago and hopped in the shower. The kids are outside having recess. They did homeschool, flower shop school today, while I had a 6-hour shift, and they worked on various things. I have my clothes there to get ready, but I do need something to put this down on, which is where my phone tripod comes in super handy. So I'm talking about manifesting my specific person to myself in the shower. And I just posted that video. It was part 3 because I made the whole Yes Forget Them series, which this is part of. Yes Forget Them, and you can manifest the correct SP. You can manifest the right SP. You cannot manifest any SP you want to, meaning not any specific person is manifestable romantically by you. That is true. However, you can manifest the right SP. So, yes, forget that SP. Yes, forget that one who don't want you. And yes,
let's manifest the one who does. I'm gonna get dressed now.
So my hair looks so so wet cat-like, because it is. When it's wet, it's just like, well, my hair is super baby fine. Thank you, Dad. The more I get aligned with, yes, I am worthy of manifesting my specific person, which to me means not a specific person I can name already now, but the right specific person for me who is unknown to me at this time, unknown in the physical realm. So I finally went ahead and posted that 46+ minute video about yes, forget them, and all the reasons why you cannot manifest any specific person you want to. And I really want to emphasize at the same time, yes, you can. But yes, you can manifest the right specific person. I mentioned different YouTubers that I do like to watch. I still sometimes watch, even though they promote the message of, yes, you can manifest any specific person you want to, no matter what. And I like to watch them. I have a couple that I still like to watch because I do end up feeling uplifted by 90% of the things that they say. And I like that, even though I do believe, this is what I really believe. If the specific person that you're obsessed with being your specific person, if the specific person that you're obsessed with being with, who is not wanting you right now, is actually somehow magically your right specific person, the same best next step is true for those people as the next best step for the people whose specific person that they're hung up on and obsessed with is actually not their right specific person. And the way to heal and move forward is the same, whether the ultimate truth is that it's not in your best interest or in their best interest for you guys to be together and it's actually never going to manifest, or if you're one of the probably very, very, very small minority of people who are actually obsessed with someone who doesn't want them and somehow that is their right person. If you happen to be in that very small, tiny minority of people, then the best thing for you to do is still the same thing as anyone who is going through a breakup or a rejection or a reframing of a relationship where you were once one thing and now you're no longer, or you had the fantasy of it happening and now it's been confirmed that it's not going to happen, or you were happily married for 20 years and now he left you and you believe you're going to get him back because you were happily married for 20 years, so of course he's going to come back. Whatever it is. Because let's be honest, the majority of people who are hung up on someone who doesn't want them are actually fixated on the wrong person. And the majority of so-called unrequited love, which I don't believe is actually love, but the majority of these so-called unrequited desires or fantasies to be with someone, or exes who want their ex back, or someone who wants someone who doesn't want them back, the majority of these situations are not going to work out with a happy ending of the two people being together. And I think that anyone watching this needs to seriously consider the reality of that. Most cases of imbalanced desired relationships do not work out in a happy relationship with that specific person, but in fact will require you to heal and move on and grow so you can find your actual right person. But the rare case that it will work out, but the majority of the time it's not gonna, honey, and I think you know that. Whatever it is, even if it's like in my personal situation, it's obvious to me that this person is not the right person for me. It's obvious to me that he doesn't want to be with me. It's obvious to me that what I want in my life is not what he wants in his life. with me or anyone. And even if he did want it with someone else, that's still not a good match for me. So it really is irrelevant if he just doesn't want to be with me and he'd rather be in solitude than with me. Or, you know what, he's going to be in solitude for the rest of his life, ultimately. Or he's going to find the love of his life with some other person and go off and get married and live happily ever after. Ultimately, it doesn't matter because he's choosing that I'm not the person he wants to invest his time in, and he's chosen to not invest his time in me. And even though I have this, what feels like a mental illness feeling of rightness, of like angels and love and light telling me that this specific person is somehow meant to be my significant partner, and yet all evidence proves that that's false. And I listened to a lot of these. You can manifest any specific person you want to, regardless of circumstances and regardless of how they feel and regardless of what's been said and regardless of all that has happened. And I did allow myself to suspend.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
The belief that I had previously before starting this thought experiment that everyone actually does have free will and everyone is an autonomous expression of an individuated human self. And although we are ultimately all one when we are alive in our physical human forms, we do have free will. I think we also have free will as vibrational energy beings. So I already believed deeply that everyone is a unique, individuated, autonomous, eccentric self that should be honored and celebrated. But at the same time, I had these very deeply powerful feelings for someone that I believe is a very special person and has been a very special person in my life in a variety of ways over 20 years. And even though the last dozen years we've barely had any contact, that didn't take away the fact that he was a very impactful person in my life and left lasting impressions on my soul that feels deeply connected to what I really do feel is a vibrational being. Another way to say it, it's like saying I fell in love with his soul and his human form, but his human form doesn't want to be with me in any capacity. And so I felt like, oh, I have to get over him. I have to get over him. I have to stop loving him. I'm mentally ill for feeling in love with him. And it made me feel terrible to have such intense, positive, loving feelings towards someone who doesn't want to be my friend or anything at all, romantic. Russell Brand was talking about in a video he did about being ghosted, and he said, some people are so fixated on their emotional perspective and really, really buy into the story. I'm paraphrasing what I remember him saying. Really, really buy into your own story, your own fantasy that you're telling yourself. And you can get yourself, some people are so utterly fixated on their own perspective or their own emotional states that they will be utterly obsessed with the idea that your specific emotional standpoint, your own specific emotional truth is the ultimate truth. To be so self-centered, to be so self-absorbed, to be so absolutely fixated on and married to and deeply rooted in there is no other reality than my reality, that you actually believe that what you believe is true despite the other person actually telling you no, that's not true. It's so So important to learn how to be humble, to gain true humility, to understand that other people have truths that are true, just as true to them as your truth is true to you. You have to respect that to manifest true love. What Russell Brand said was often what people need is something like a heavy dose of humility that allows them to say, well, I thought that we had this very deep, special connection, and I felt that we were in this mutual relationship, but your ghosting me has proven what I thought was true to be not true. And that in order to be able to move forward from that experience of being ghosted or of being rejected from someone that you, or by someone that you thought was your specific person, being able to say, what I thought was real was not a shared reality. What felt real to me was not real for them. What I experienced as my actual feelings and experiences and truth was not what they as well experienced. And by being humble, I'm able to accept that reality and move forward, despite the experiences I had that led me to believe otherwise. And Carol Allen also said, Carol Allen is someone I get emails from. She's an astrologist. She said in an email that really sparked, just like what Russell Brand said about being humble and not being so attached to your emotional state that you think it's reality even though other people aren't sharing it. Carol Allen said it's totally possible to fall in love with a man's soul or a person's soul, and yet their physical self is not actually compatible with you. And she said the solution is to know that there are other people whose souls you can fall in love with, and also their physical self, and you can be quite compatible. And that's the solution. Not to try to make the person who you fell in love with their soul, force it to be with that person who you know you're not actually physically compatible, but to accept that there are other people whose souls you can fall in love with, and their physical self is compatible with your physical self. And that's the ultimate goal when you're emotionally available and actually open to love, instead of closed off and fixated on a fantasy, because a fantasy that won't come through is the exact story that feeds into the whole I'm not worthy junky belief system that's underlying why you are fixated on someone who doesn't want you back. I have gotten myself so fixated on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, because when I've been around this person, I've experienced that feeling, which feels like the wish fulfilled of that ultimate partnership. You know, that's what I'm saying. Angels of love and light. No, I haven't hallucinated actual angels and light, or heard them, singing in a way where I felt like, oh, there's a real, actual physical thing. It was all energy, vibration. A couple of years ago when he was here, the last time I saw him was it's going on 2 years. It's more than a year and a half that I haven't even seen him or spoken to him. So I really sympathize with anyone who feels something similar to what I feel, that there's this inherent magical rightness that I can't, I didn't make it up. I didn't decide to be fixated on him. It feels like that. I guess the truth is I've never deeply believed that you can manifest any specific person you want to, but I have always deeply believed you can manifest the right person. That is something that you can do. There is a person or a few people that would really dig to be with me, just as there's
at least one or a handful of people that would really like to be with any person, no matter how unmatched someone else is for me, no matter how poorly matched, no matter how incompatible someone else is to me, no matter how much I might look at someone else and think that person would never find love, which is a cruel, judgmental thing to do. But no matter how much I might think someone is not romantically viable, someone out there would. And that's sort of like a backhanded compliment. Yo, you ugly ass motherfucker who I would never touch with a 10-foot pole. Somebody else would gobble you up. And that's the truth, Ruth. That is just like for some people. I have enough humility to be honest and aware that I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that there's lots of guys who would have zero interest in me as well. And I don't take that as an insult. I think that that's natural, and that's how it's supposed to be, because not everyone is for everyone. But the right one is the right one for you, and you are the right one for the right one for you. The thing is, we all have insecurities. We all have our insecurities, just as I feel like, my hair looks so weird when it's wet, and it also looks weird when it's dry. I mean, come on, I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. I do all the things that human beings do that can feel embarrassing. We all have our humanness, our insecurities, we all have our strengths, our intense beauty and gorgeousness that comes and shines its way out in its own unique ways. Like I said in that other video, there are millions of different people that have countless ways of being varied, and there's definitely a right person out there for me. What I intensely really want to talk about and to share as a message out into the world is hello. I will always maintain that you cannot manifest any specific person you want to, because everyone has free will, and other people get to choose whether they want to be manifested by you or by someone else or by no one or whatever that they choose. But you can definitely manifest the right specific person, and I think that that's a more helpful, self-loving message, that the more you focus on your own growth, your own healing, your own up-leveling, your own expansion, your own education, your own health, your own success, your own physical fitness, your own emotional well-being, your own emotional states, the more that you take responsibility for your own happiness, for taking the next best step towards manifesting your dreams, the more you will draw the right person to you. Okay, I just remembered the thought that I was having in the shower. That was why I started this video, which was to say, when someone has just determined and decided and come to the feeling that this relationship is not working, this relationship is not working for me, and they want out, or they want something to change, or they want out, or they're saying, I'm not able to give you what you need, or I'm not the right match for you, or you're not the right match for me, or we're not compatible, or maybe they're saying there's other things, that other pressures in their life from either other things that matter to them or other people's opinions, that the people that they care about matter, traditions, family, whatever it is, that they say, instead of owning the decision like, I'm not choosing you, sometimes people will put it on like, well, my mother won't let me be with you, so therefore I can't. I want to, and maybe they string you along. They squeeze out what they can get out of you, knowing they're not going to marry you or whatever it is, because you're desperate. So when you're desperate, people who are actually usually not considering your best interests will be the ones who are willing to take your desperation. But the fact is, if you're a healthy person and you're in a situation, romantic situation with someone, and you've made the determination, this isn't working for me, I don't want this, I can't go on, or I choose to not do this, and that other person responds by essentially saying they can't live without you, or they don't want to live without you, or you're the best thing that's ever happened to them, or you'll never find something better than this, or some version of this idea of trying to manifest a specific person regardless of circumstances, that is going to make them run harder and farther away from you than anything. If someone is saying, if person A says, this situation, this romantic relationship is not working for me, I'm leaving. And person B says, but I can't live without this. I don't want to live without this, or this is the best thing I've ever had in my life, then that strongly reinforces to person A that they will never be happy with person B, and they will never be happy in a relationship with person B. Because if you're telling someone, this situation is not right, and it doesn't work for me, and they tell you, this is the best thing I've ever had, or I don't want anything but this, that is the ultimate definition of mismatch, of incompatibility. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? If the very thing that I don't want to be in is the very thing that's the best thing you ever had, then that is the absolute ultimate definition of incompatibility. That is such an ultimate truth. That is such an important truth. If person A is telling person B, yo, this situation don't work for me, I can't make it work, or it doesn't work, I don't want it. And then person B says, well, actually, this situation is the best situation I've ever had. I can't live without this situation, or I could live without it, but I don't want to. And I am going to try to convince you to come back to this thing that you don't want. Could there be anything more powerful to make somebody run away from you? Could there be any more proof and evidence to that person A, that person B could never be right for them? And that relationship with person B could never make them happy, would never make them happy, because they're literally saying, I don't want this, and you're turning around and responding, this is the best thing I've ever had. So how could you ever be compatible? How could that person ever even really feel seen and heard and actually genuinely loved to say, I'm not happy in this situation, or this relationship is not making me happy, and your response is, but it's the best thing I've ever had. That reminds me of my first ex-fiance.
Please hang up and try again.
I felt very insignificant. And the fact is, I was self-abandoning everything that was real about myself. I mean, at first I was going to art school, but then I did abandon that, and I essentially abandoned everything about myself. That is how I was raised, to be told that my opinion was irrelevant. My preferences and tastes and wants and needs and desires and interests and talents and skills were also irrelevant. So I would mirror that in relationships, getting involved with people who reflected that belief right back to me, because it was so ingrained in who I thought I was that I had internalized those feelings that my opinion didn't matter, and my thoughts and needs and preferences and talents and skills and interests and likes and happiness was expendable, irrelevant, just literally a burden. Like nobody got time for that. And unsurprisingly, each boyfriend that I got attached to reflected that belief right back to me in the way that they showed up and treated me. And I didn't even have the belief structure inside of me that I deserved any different. I knew I wanted a happy marriage, that two willing, free will choosing of their own free will people, two special individuals who want to build a life together. I always had a sense of this inherent assumption inside of me that being in a happy monogamous marriage was something that, stupid thing's making a shadow right on my face, that being in a happy monogamous exclusive marriage was something that I really wanted, you know, raising a family, having a family life, and enjoying a romantic relationship, an exclusive sexual romantic relationship with my true love, my specific person. And I've always known inherently inside of me that I knew that that was what I wanted, but then I had to battle all these realities of my actual life experiences and how I was treated by the people who were in charge of taking care of me, and the way that they talked to me about who I was as a person and how my needs were met or not met, and how my feelings were treated and dealt with, and how the painful traumatic experiences that I lived through were processed. I was basically left to process it. I mean, they did try, my parents did try to you know, give us therapy and stuff like that, but it was very limited in what it was able to help me heal at that time. And unfortunately, I did go through like 4 decades of traumatic, reactive relating. Why I really want to talk to people who want so desperately to manifest a specific person, an actual specific person that you already know. And I really, really want to encourage you, along with encouraging myself, to move on, let go, heal, accept that if that person doesn't want you and they don't want to be with you and they don't want what you want, or whatever it is that's making the case be that this person who you're fixated on ain't coming through, accept that that's their truth. Love them enough to say, okay, you're done with this romantic interaction, or you're never going to even give it a chance, or you gave it a chance and you don't want it anymore. And then you say to yourself, but I love myself and I deserve to be loved, and I deserve to have a relationship with somebody who wants to be with me, and I deserve to have a relationship with somebody who wants to have a relationship, and I deserve to have a relationship with somebody that I want to be in a relationship with, and I deserve to have a relationship with somebody I want to be with who wants to be in a relationship and who's chosen me to be in that relationship with them. And I deserve that. And my partner, who I love, also deserves to choose for themselves whether or not they want to be in a relationship, and then choose for themselves if they want to do that with me. And when they've chosen me of their own free will, and they've chosen to be in a romantic relationship of their own free will, and they show up and they're consistent and they're investing, and I'm showing up and I'm being consistent and I'm investing, and they're being emotionally available and I'm being emotionally available, and we're taking the time to learn about who we are as individuals and as people, and who we can be as a couple, and to create the third entity of we that recognizes I will always remain an autonomous, individuated self, no matter how many years we're together. And you will always remain an autonomous, individuated self, no matter how many years we're together. And we will create and build and grow a third entity of we, which is our relationship that we both mutually feed into, just like a garden. I have the parts of the garden that are me, that I have to tend to. Those are my ingredients. Those are my parts of me. I want to maintain me because I really, I've spent 48 years cultivating myself, and I feel happy maintaining my autonomous self, and I won't give that up. And I certainly won't be well matched with a person who expects me to melt into him and lose my autonomous nature and just somehow become a clone of him, or vice versa, or like For two people to become one, you both have to cut half of your shit off. And I'm not cutting half of my shit off. I'm growing. I'm blooming. And I don't want somebody else who's going to cut half his shit off. No, I want you to be a whole, entire, fully formed human man. And then when we get together, we're going to share our fully formed humanness with each other. And then we're going to build a relationship that we both feed into, but we also always maintain knowing that we are autonomous, independent individuals who are interconnected and interdependent on each other. But we're still our real selves. And I think that's the most beautiful kind of relationship to have. Now, if that's not what you're looking for, then you're probably not watching this anyway, okay? The point that I want to make is giving up the fantasy, the fixation of manifesting a specific person is not a loss. It's not a heartbreak. It's a celebration. It's a joy. It's an exciting, wonderful, brand new path ahead of you where you get to align with the right person. And how do you align with the right person? By aligning with becoming the right person that you are. And the right person that you are is your most authentic self. Well, I really went down the rabbit hole of talking about an ex, but like I said, when I realized that he was perfectly happy in this situation that I was totally miserable in, I realized he will have no reason to ever change. There's no motivation whatsoever for him to ever make any effort whatsoever towards changing anything about our life or our relationship because he's perfectly happy. In fact, he would marry me and be happy with our life as is, and yet I'm miserable. So how am I ever going to be happy with that guy? This miserable situation is happy to him. Therefore, I could never be happy with him because if I'm miserable, but he's happy, then that is an inherent mismatch. And that's why when you're obsessed with a specific person and they are quite clear that this isn't working for them or they don't want it, trying to manifest them back, it's like the ultimate worst thing you could do, because if they truly are actually right for you, the only way that they're going to come to that realization is if, number one, you show the acceptance that this unhappy situation doesn't work for them, and you show that by moving on from it, and you show that by your willingness to live your life without that unhappy situation. Even if it's happy for you, it's unhappy for them. And if you genuinely love them and something is making them unhappy, then you wouldn't want them to continue. And even if you like it, but they don't. Even like something as basic as you're watching a movie and you're like loving the movie, but the person is like, I really don't like this. Trying to force them to continue watching it and trying to force them to enjoy it nonetheless, while you're watching it because you like it and you enjoy it and you want them to enjoy it because you're enjoying it, but they don't. It doesn't make them enjoy it. I mean, yeah, maybe sometimes somebody's like, I don't really want this, and then they end up liking it. But most of the time, if you're trying to force somebody to like something because you like it, it doesn't work and actually creates this resistance in them that pushes them away. And if it's a relationship, then you're basically proving to them that they can never be happy with you because you literally don't care about their happiness. You care about your happiness and you like it and you want to be with them. They don't, but you don't care. And so you are proving this person can never be happy with you. They can never be happy with you because they can never trust that you will consider their happiness. They can be sure that what they want and what their feelings are, you will disregard them, because you are disregarding them when you want them even though they don't want you, and you pursue it, or you keep trying, or you keep believing somehow I'm going to manifest them into my life romantically even though they're telling me I don't. So what you're proving to that person is, I'm not listening to your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about your opinion. I don't care what you want. I want something different than what you want, and so I'm more important than you. You prove to someone that you will not love them. You will not love them. You will not hear them out. You will not consider their feelings. You will not take their thoughts, needs, wishes, wants into consideration, into the beingness of you, because you can't. You can't, because you inherently want them to be in a situation that they don't want to be in. And so they can never be happy with you. Because if you can't understand that somebody doesn't want to be with you, if you can't understand that somebody doesn't want to be with you and accept that and live your life and move forward, you're also proving to them that nothing that matters to them will matter to you, and that they can guarantee they will be unheard, unseen, and unloved. Because even though you might be fixated and obsessed with them and the idea that you love them, if they are not openly receiving it back and wanting it, then it's not love. It's like a forced unwanted, okay? And that's why you're proving that you can't love them. You don't love them. They are not heard. They are not seen around you. Maybe if you move forward and you move on and you live your life and you're happy without them, they may come to realize, oh wow, that person can love me, but that's only going to come from you accepting and believing and moving forward in your life with the reality of them not wanting you. You got that? Capisce? Capisce? That if the magical, miracle, rare one that it actually is the right best person for you, the only way that they're going to ever come to realize that is when you move on. When you say, you know what? I'm sorry you're unhappy. I'm going to go away and go live my life and move forward and accept that. And then when you get aligned with who you are, and if that person is actually the right, real, specific person for you, then they will naturally be drawn back to you. And if that doesn't happen, then that means that they weren't right for you. So whether you're trying to get over someone or you're trying to move forward from somebody who you want to be with them and they're never going to be with you, or you want to be with them and eventually they could be actually the best match for you, the only way to really get over it or to really get healthy and to move forward is the willingness to move on and to continue on in your life without them, and to just do what you need to, focusing on all your own business. Focus on your health, focus on your fitness, focus on your fulfilling your dreams and being successful, and focus on investing in other friendships in your life and other relationships, your hobbies. Focus on your emotional well-being. Focus on your ability to be happy without things that don't want you. And focus on your sense of self-worth. Focus on your own emotional availability. Being attracted to somebody who doesn't want you is proof of emotional unavailability. They're telling you, I'm not happy, I don't want this, and you're saying, this is the best thing I've ever had. You're proving right there that you are literally disconnected from them, because they're saying no and you're saying yes. They're saying this is making me unhappy and you're saying this is the best thing for me. So you've got to be willing to look at yourself honestly and say, I am actually not loving them, because they're saying, no, I don't like this. And I'm telling them, but this is the best thing I've ever had. So that cannot be a good match. You've got to let the relationship be reframed, which at this moment may be, we're former friends, we're former lovers, we're exes, or, that's somebody I thought I wanted to be with, but he didn't, or they didn't want me back. and that's somebody I used to know, whatever it is. Reframe it and then move forward into, I only want to be with somebody who really wants to be with me. That's what emotionally available people say. Emotionally available people are automatically not attracted to emotionally unavailable people because it doesn't match. It doesn't match. So you're not going to be attracted to somebody who's emotionally unavailable if you are genuinely emotionally available and desiring and ready to invest into a real relationship. That emotionally unavailable person is not going to attract and spark romantic interest in you because they don't match. So if you're the one who's always attracted to emotionally unavailable people, that is your own reflection back. That is your mirror, that you are emotionally unavailable, because only emotionally unavailable people are attracted to emotionally unavailable people. Emotionally available, healthy people who are ready to invest and have a real relationship are not going to want that. It's just like being vegan. I don't want to eat dead animals. I'm not interested in eating that cheesy pizza. I don't want to eat that chicken wing. I don't want that oxtail. I don't want to eat that barbecue. I don't want to eat that fish. I don't want it. I don't want that chocolate bar. I don't even want that candy. The other day was Halloween. There was 2 big bowlfuls of non-vegan candy that we ended up getting on our trick-or-treating, and we re-candied it to other people, but I didn't have not one shred of desire to eat that. I had no attraction or desire or interest in it. Even thinking about eating it makes me feel sick because I don't want it. It's not a match. I don't drool over stuff. I don't get attracted to it. I don't desire it because it's not what I don't want to consume that. That isn't who I am. I'm not a meat, dairy eating person. So I've chosen that. I've come to that. I've become that. I literally embodied that. It's not a diet that I'm like, oh, I really want that, but I can't eat it because it's not on my diet. No, I literally have no desire for it. I am repulsed by it, to be honest. I reject it. I have zero qualms about throwing shit in the garbage. I try to give it to somebody who could use it, but I don't even worry about that. I'm not even freaking worried about that shit. That's what I'm saying. When you're emotionally available, you are going to be attracted to an emotionally available person because that is what you are, and that is what you desire, and that is what you will manifest because that is who you are at the core. Okay? So if you are in any way hung up, obsessed, fixated, or even feeling sad about and grieving over someone who's emotionally unavailable, that is your clue that you are not as emotionally available as you might think. And believe me, when you finally stop trying to manifest that specific person who doesn't want you, and you start to manifest the specific person that you really want to be inside, the person you really want to be, you will manifest the right specific person. You can manifest the right specific person. That is what I believe. Anyone can manifest their specific correct match when you align with being your most authentic self. Now my battery's gonna die, and I've already been talking for quite a long time, probably more than an hour, and thank you so much. I hope that my messages of encouraging love, coaching, bring you some ease, bring you some love, bring you some self-love, bring you some desire to learn to love yourself, and intention of letting go of an unhealthy obsession. Stop trying to manifest that specific person who don't want you, because that is totally not loving them. Love yourself and allow yourself to be loved by one who genuinely can and will love you. The ultimate truth is that you can definitely, absolutely, beyond any doubt, manifest the right specific person who is the right specific person for you specifically, who you are also specifically right for. The sooner you get to believing in that, the sooner you get to walking away from people who've already said no to you, situations that don't work, the sooner you are going to get to the there that you want to be at, which is to be loved and to be loving and to be lovingly loved by someone who lovingly loves you. And I believe that your specific person, your actual right specific person, they want you so much. They are anxious. They are excited. They are filled with anticipation and joy to be able to build a loving relationship with you when you finally get it together and stop trying to manifest that wrong specific person and accept that everyone is a fully formed, individuated self who gets to decide what's right for them and what's not right for them. And the sooner you get to appreciating and respecting and honoring that in the specific person who said no to you, the sooner you can open your heart to the right specific person who will say yes to you. And often, the key is learning to love yourself and actually believing in your own lovability and shifting from being an emotionally unavailable person to becoming an emotionally available person. Once you become emotionally available and aligned with what's right for you, you can open up and magnetically attract someone who will become your right specific person. Love Living Peach.
And the most important thing is the first thing I said. Compatibility is everything. Everything. You've got to be compatible to build a happy relationship. You've got to be compatible to both want to stay together. You've got to be compatible to make this work, to make a loving lifetime partnership that you're both growing and expanding work and happy. Compatibility, y'all, you can't force compatibility. You can't force somebody to be compatible with you. You've got to be compatible, genuinely compatible with yourself, your actual genuine authentic self, and then align with the people who you're really compatible with. That's it, babes. Okay, love Living Peach. See you next time.